I've got great news for you about Mikhail MUDRYK. Everybody talking about Mikhail MUDRYK, this young superstar from Ukraine, and who's been playing for Shakhtar Donetsk Football Club. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being part of this podcast. And make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you do not miss on anything that we definitely have to bring to you. As long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, we're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right here. So what are we talking about today? We are definitely talking about the one and only Mikhail MUDRYK, who is a wonderful football player from Shakhtar Donetsk, and he's been playing for Shakhtar Donetsk for some time, and it will be remembered that for some time now, this gentleman has been playing for Shakhtar Donetsk, and he's being eyed. He's been eyed by a number of clubs, including Paris Saint-Germain. Still a very young football player. He's still a very young football player, a young talent, and definitely all has been going on quite well. Let us know in the comment section what do you think about this transfer. Anyway, first of all, before we go any further, I think you can see how Arsenal has been performing of recent. Before we go any further, what happened was Arsenal performed quite well. It was definitely an exceptional. Arsenal performed very well, and that was it managed to score 3 goals against West Ham, and West Ham had 1 goal. So when you see how they were playing at first, you can see that that Bukayo Saka tried getting a goal in there, and then that goal was definitely off. But again, things didn't work out quite well as they expected, and for some reason, first half ended while Arsenal was behind. Still, that was 1-0. And the second half was definitely brutal. But again, I talked about the second half and how things definitely went. I said West Ham definitely didn't have a chance. But where does Mikhail MUDRYK come in here? Already, when you see the position of Arsenal right now, when you look at the table right now, Arsenal is a little bit safe. I can say it's not 100% safe. Arsenal is not 100% safe. But when you see the mere fact that Arsenal has 40 points, and the main club we're talking about, main opposition is Manchester City that has 32 points. Newcastle is a good club, but it has 16 games played, and you can see Man City has only 14 games played. So that could be a bit challenging. Anyway, will Arsenal definitely manage the pressure without Gabriel Jesus? As you already know, Gabriel Jesus is a big impact. Gabriel Jesus has brought a very big impact to the club. And the mere fact that Gabriel Jesus has an injury, Arsenal needs to make sure it remains in the first position until the end of the season. However, to do this, major signings are definitely needed. And that's why Mikel Arteta, the current manager of Arsenal, and then the technical director of Arsenal, Mr. Edu Gaspar, came and said, look, it's definitely something that all of us want, but I think something else. We all want the first position, but more investments are definitely needed. Quite a lot is needed to be done in there. Let us know what you think in the comment section about what's going to be happening right here. And also, I can read some of your comments. And what you definitely think. Okay. Okay. I can see Higenya saying this is nice for Arsenal. Okay, let's dig deep into this. You will remember that Mikhail MUDRYK, the fact that he's been, if you want to know why he's why he's being considered as a very big transfer, one of the best transfers that Arsenal would ever have. You can tell by the number of clubs that are interested in this young lad. This young lad quite a lot of clubs want this gentleman. Very many clubs want this gentleman. Yeah, thank you everybody who's in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe. Quite a big number of clubs want this gentleman, and Arsenal were eyeing Cody Gakpo, and also they were eyeing MYKHAILO MUDRYK, but Cody Gakpo, apparently he's definitely out of the equation, and there is nothing more to talk about Cody Gakpo because he's definitely out of it. He's definitely moving to Liverpool. But here, when we look at the other side, when we look at this side of when we look at the side of MYKHAILO MUDRYK, when Shakhtar Donetsk was contacted about this transfer, Shakhtar Donetsk Kafasi was a bit reluctant because he is their biggest player. He is their most valuable player. He is definitely one of the biggest football players that Shakhtar Donetsk definitely has. And they were seeing him as a young talent and a talent for the future. And so that's one of the reasons as to why it was quite complicated for them to make sure that this gentleman leaves their club. But it's definitely happening, and Mikel Arteta and also the technical director, sporting director, Mr. Edu Gaspar, came one-on-one with this gentleman, and definitely things went on quite well. As it stands, Arsenal being in the first position, and the mere fact that Arsenal is trying every other day to make sure that they can maintain the first position. And even when you will remember that when the season had just begun, initially, when the season had just begun, it will be remembered that many people were saying Arsenal will not manage to stay on top. But they have definitely done all that is needed for them to make sure that they can stay on top. And I think what they have done is quite great. But when you see MYKHAILO MUDRYK's mode of play and then compare it to Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Jesus's injury is something that actually would have costed Arsenal, because Gabriel Jesus scored quite a number of goals recently. Scored a number of goals, and he is one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, as to why Arsenal is in the position that it is in. I personally think Gabriel Jesus had a big impact on Arsenal, a very big impact. And in this January transfer, it shouldn't just be MYKHAILO MUDRYK. When you see who is on the bench for Arsenal, Arsenal doesn't have big alternatives. No, it doesn't have big alternatives. That's why this January transfer window should be seen as, I don't know how I can call it, but it should be seen as an opportunity to get better alternatives. Already the football players that are there are playing quite well. Undoubtedly, football players who are there playing quite well. Bukayo Saka is a very good one. Smith Rowe playing quite well. William Saliba in the defense, definitely okay. Tierney, well. Thomas Partey, El Neni, all of them are playing quite well. So the fact that they are definitely playing very well, I also think the alternatives that should be there, like when you see at Arsenal's competitors alternatives, they are way better football players, and that's what Arsenal needs to have. Already Arsenal has got talent, but it doesn't have football players who've got years of experience. That's one. And also, when you look at the bench of Arsenal is a little bit shaky, and if 3-4 players get injuries, that means that it will not be good for the club. And that's why the general transfer window is here to help Arsenal. I can see Eric commenting something saying, I'm sure he will slot well and continue to work together with the teammates to yield results. I think he's a good addition, not a squad player. I think he can be a squad player. He's definitely a squad player. He's a very wonderful one. And when you look at, definitely when you look at football players, like when you look at how there is a very big chance, definitely there is a very big chance that this guy will play first team football, because when you look at who is playing for Arsenal, it's just only young lads, young football players. Young football players are the ones who are definitely playing for Arsenal. When you look at the likes of Bukayo Saka, the likes of Gabriel, the likes of Gabriel. When you look at Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe, Edin Ketia, obviously they are playing well. They are fine. They are definitely fine. They are okay. They're definitely okay. Let us know what you think in the comment section, so that definitely you do not miss out on anything that we have to bring to you right here. As long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, and we are always dedicated to being the first people to bring this information to you. As everything is said, personal terms are definitely agreed. Arsenal are more than willing and interested in getting this gentleman, as it is coming in that this gentleman has already agreed with the move to Arsenal, and the technical director of Arsenal and the manager of Arsenal, plus the investors themselves, have big reason as to why they should have this gentleman, because Arsenal are looking forward to get the English Premier League title. So I think it's going to be a brilliant move. I think it's going to be a very, very great move. Let us know what you think in the comment section. But personally think he is one to have. He's definitely one to have. And there is no reason as to why this should not happen, as he has already agreed the move. And we have got sources saying that it is a done and dusted deal. It's a deal complete. MYKHAILO MUDRYK is definitely coming to Arsenal, or going to Arsenal. It is definitely done and dusted. And there is no reason whatsoever as to why he shouldn't get to Arsenal, as Arsenal are willing to pay the £85 million that Shakhtar Donetsk's most expensive football player has. That's the price tag that they have got onto Shakhtar Donetsk. But Shakhtar Donetsk, looking at Shakhtar Donetsk, I think they'll have to fill in that gap. Possibly they could get a better player, but it must seem a little bit complicated for them, as MYKHAILO MUDRYK is one of the most wonderful, one of the best football players that any club can have, and that's why many clubs have been after him. How Arsenal have been playing is quite well, but when you see the last game they have played against West Ham, it's been a brilliant one. It's been definitely a very nice one. In the first half, it wasn't that good with that 1-0, but when it came back to the second half, it definitely was quite much better than the first half. They had to score, and that score a number of goals. See, let us see in the comment section. I can see Hisa Richard saying, "Welcome to our Power Arsenal." Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Too many comments in there. Thank you for being part of this. Make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on anything that we definitely have to bring to you. As you already know, that everything is set for this transfer to definitely happen. Let us know what you think in the comment section, as we are definitely more than interested in chatting with you. It's the Premier League transfer, and right about now we're talking about the latest Arsenal news, and also not forgetting that mainly the person we are talking about is none other than the Shakhtar Donetsk football player, Ukraine international. And it is said that one of the people who have been trying to help making sure that this gentleman gets to the club is Alexander Zinchenko, who plays with him at the Ukrainian national team. And Alexander Zinchenko definitely had a one-on-one with this gentleman and convinced him about joining the club, about how the club is a very wonderful one, about how the club is good. And one of the reasons as to why he definitely came is he said he needed first team football. He wants to be on the first squad. Anyway, and one of the reasons as to why he didn't go for Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid or Barcelona, as they had requested requested him to go is because he said he wants first team football, and if no first team football, they shouldn't bother. And Mikel Arteta came out and said, "Look, you are a great talent. You're one of the best talents that the world has. Definitely, right about now, there is no reason as to why they should not give you first team football. If you want first team football, Arsenal is the place that you definitely need to move to." And that definitely was quite good of Mikel Arteta. And Mikel Arteta has definitely promised that he is going to be giving this lad is going to be giving this gentleman first team football, and there is nothing that is going to stop him from getting first team football. We think it's going to be massive. It's going to be quite good, as Shakhtar Donetsk are already out of the equation, as they asked for 85 million pound for this gentleman, and 85 million pound was nothing to them. To Arsenal has been more than willing to make sure that they can have this gentleman. Let us know what you think about the 85 million transfer. Do you think it is worth or it is not worth? As Arsenal are eyeing, Arsenal have all their eyes on the English Premier League title, as it will be remembered the Champions League football is already secured as we talk. There is no reason whatsoever as to why Arsenal shouldn't get Champions League football. It's already secured. But what Arsenal is definitely eyeing is the Premier League title. So the Shakhtar Donetsk football player is one that Arsenal has got to make sure that it sails everything, gets everything in position, gets everything done, and get the 3 points in every football game that they play. 3 points. And when you see how this gentleman will manage, and his mode of play is not way his mode of play is not very different from the mode of play that Arsenal plays, that Mikel Arteta employs. So I think it's going to be a very wonderful one. I think it's quite a good one. So let's see why he's being eyed. He's got quite big skills. His composure, it's definitely one that you can that everybody admires about him. His composure is definitely one to admire, and also he's very self-confident. Self-confidence is definitely something that he is having as a football player always on him. Game vision, he reads the game quite well and employs his tactics and does everything a forward definitely needs to do, and that's MYKHAILO MUDRYK. Very intelligent when it comes to making decisions, when to pass the ball, when to hold the ball, and that is definitely quite great. Then precision is definitely on point. And when we look at speed, his speed is definitely terrific. He's a very wonderful football player. When it comes to pace, he's definitely a very good one. Then creativity, definitely also creativity is one that he has got. He always tries to read the game as much as he can, as well as he can. So let us know in the comment section what you think about MYKHAILO MUDRYK, as MYKHAILO MUDRYK himself is more than happy to join Arsenal, and he will be with the Arsenal squad soon. Very soon he will be with the Arsenal squad, and we'll see him play for Arsenal. As it will be remembered that the football players, the signings that Mikel Arteta always makes are always very good, positive, very nice signings. When you look at the likes of Shakhtar, not Shakhtar Donetsk football player, but when you look at let me see, when you look at the transfers that happened in the summer transfer window, that's why Mikel Arteta has to be given a big. Actually, Mikel Arteta needs to be thanked quite a lot, because the signings that Mikel Arteta has always made have always made a big impact. And when you see the likes of Gabriel Jesus, who's played very well. When you see Alexander Zinchenko, he is a very wonderful one. When you see William Saliba, who came in from Lom, and Mikel Arteta said he definitely needs to stay. He's been playing brilliantly. Fabio Vieira, who is also been playing quite well, and switching to the other side, then Marquinhos, the Brazilian superstar, he's been also playing much better. So I can think, or I have to tell that it is something that is definitely quite good for Arsenal, and Arsenal are definitely more than interested, more than happy in having this gentleman. So it will be a great thing. It's going to be a great thing, as it's great news for the club, great news for Arsenal, that MYKHAILO MUDRYK is more than ready, and Arsenal are definitely very happy to have him. Let us know in the comment section what you think about this transfer, whom you think about this transfer, whom you think is going to be living in this general transfer window. As the general transfer window is definitely on, the general transfer window is definitely going to be on, and we think is something that is going to be quite good. Definitely Arsenal is going to use this as a tool to make sure they can defend the Premier League position. That's the first position where they are in. They just want to stay in the first position and take the Premier League title. Arsenal has not taken the Premier League title for quite a long period of time, a very long period of time, and this could be written in books of football history, and we think that will definitely be a very wonderful one. So it will be remembered that Arsene Wenger also came out and he praised Mikel Arteta, and he said the tactics he's employing are definitely the ones that should be employed in any team for success. And he's been very happy with that game yesterday, and he said he's doing quite well. And everybody could see that Arsenal has been doing very well of recent, and actually that has been a very good thing. So when we look at when the last time Arsenal won the Premier League Cup, that was it 2003, 2004. Arsenal last won the Premier League title in 2003, 2004, and gaining 90 points over the course of the 38 games, I think, and without losing a single match. Yeah, that was quite great of them. Anyway, make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you do not miss it on anything that we definitely have to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We definitely dedicated to bring to you everything as it is right here. Do not forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell, as you already know that the one and only MYKHAILO MUDRYK is one of the best football players that the world has right about now. You can compare him with the likes of Kylian Mbappe. The mode of play of Kylian Mbappe and MYKHAILO MUDRYK is definitely almost the same. As you already know that he still has a great future ahead of him, and that's why he's costing quite a lot of money to get this gentleman. Let us know what you think in the comment section, as we definitely are more than happy to let you know that things are going on quite well for the club and quite well for Arsenal, as this gentleman will be announced officially very soon. The club will definitely come out officially and announce very soon, but we have already broke the news that he is definitely one that Arsenal are going to have. Let us know what you definitely think, and we think it's going to be a great move. We think it's going to be a good move, one of the best moves that any club can ever have. Manchester United is not having him. Manchester City is not having him. Spurs isn't having him. Borussia Dortmund isn't having him. Real Madrid, no. Barcelona, no. Paris Saint-Germain, no. And Arsenal is the club that's definitely going to be having this young lad. Let us know in the comments section about Mikhail Mudryk's transfer and what you definitely think about Mikhail Mudryk and him joining Arsenal. Do you think is a great thing? So where do you think Mikhail Mudryk should play? Do you think he should play? He should come first in the first team as he requested, or you think football players who are there should first try and play as much as they can before anything is implored? Make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss it on anything that we definitely have to bring to you, as long as it's sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We are definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right here at Arsenal. And so, looking at Mikhail Mudryk's mode of players we talked before, the fact that you can compare him with the likes of Kylian Mbappe. You can compare him he has pace. When it comes to speed, he's definitely a beast. Speed. He moves quite quickly with the ball and he makes rare mistakes. Very, very rare mistakes. Rarely does he make any mistakes when it comes to playing football. And that's what any football player, definitely football manager, wants of his football players. So still, you can let us know what you think in the comment section about this transfer, as we think things are going on quite well for the club Arsenal, as Arsenal have made sure that this gentleman gets to their club as more than anyway. So Mikhail Mudryk, the Ukrainian superstar, the Ukrainian football player, when he was playing for Ukraine, he was definitely cited by a number of clubs. And when I was playing by Ukraine, everybody was saying, "Oh, who is this young lad? Who is this young gentleman? Who is this young talent?" But already, Mikel Arteta already knew that he definitely wanted him, as people were wondering who he is. He had already made his investigations and said he is the football player that is definitely missing Arsenal. As quite a lot of hopes were also in Cody Gakpo, but Cody Gakpo is no longer in the Arsenal transfer targets, as he's been already signed by Liverpool. Liverpool have signed. It's a deal done, sealed and confirmed, as Liverpool have signed this gentleman. I think it's a 4-year contract, if I'm not mistaken. They have signed a 4-year contract with Cody Gakpo. So that leaves no chance for Arsenal to sign Cody Gakpo. Everybody who's been having hopes quite high for Cody Gakpo to join Arsenal, I think you should have your hopes low. Not even low. It's now at 0.00%. The person we are talking about is definitely Mikhail Mudryk, and Cody Gakpo is definitely out of the equation. The other person that was talked about is that other than who's this young gentleman from Portugal, Joao Felix. Somebody asked me about Joao Felix. Joao Felix, nothing has been concluded just as yet, but there are quite a number of clubs, mainly 3 clubs after Joao Felix, after Atletico Madrid came out and said Joao Felix is definitely out for sellers. Diego Simeone is at loggerheads with him, and he does not want him at the club. Is not very interested in him. But when you see the clubs that are interested in him, there is the Arsenal is interested in Joao Felix, but nothing has been concluded yet. In Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag is pressing hard to have Joao Felix. You'll remember that Joao Felix is only 23 years, still young, and has a great future ahead of him. There is also another club, that's Chelsea. Chelsea also want to sign this young lad, but let's wait and see how it definitely goes. Possibly will be a good signing for them. And Arsenal still has a chance of signing this gentleman, but we cannot rule out anything just as per now. But he is nowhere near Arsenal signing. But with Mikhail Mudryk, it's definitely a very good thing. It's a deal done, sealed, and confirmed with Mikhail Mudryk, as Mikhail Mudryk has agreed the deal to Arsenal, as personal terms have definitely been agreed, and a medical has been scheduled, and we think it is going to be quite good. It's very rare of any football players to fail the medical. Biomedical has been scheduled, and that will be done at the Arsenal Medical Center, and we will be able to share the results with you. Make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we have to bring, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. As we're talking about MYKHAILO MUDRYK and him joining the greatest club, our greatest club in football, and that is now other than Arsenal, that managed to take the Premier League unbeaten years ago under the management of Arsene Wenger, and now it's definitely a brand new management which comprises of two major friends, two big friends, and former football players, and that is none other than Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar. Edu Gaspar, I hope you remember that he has always helped Mikel Arteta here and there in transfers, making sure that he gets these transfers quite well. George Mendes came out and offered Arsenal a few football players. He said if Arsenal wanted, could possibly get Joao Felix, but he could have a go at Joao Felix. But George Mendes, he said if Arsenal are willing to invest, they can have him. But Arsenal are not. They are not so much into Joao Felix. They are much more into. They are not into stars. No, Arsenal are not a club that buys stars. It buys stars, but very rarely does Arsenal buy stars. It buys young football players and tries to make the football players better than the way they got, and that is quite a good thing of any club. If they can add something to a football player, a young football player, that is quite good, and that's what makes the difference between Arsenal and other clubs. So we could be seeing this gentleman scoring quite a number of goals. Expect a very big number of goals to be scored when the Shakhtar Donetsk football player finally starts playing for Arsenal. Expect a big number of goals, and there is nothing that they can do about it. There is definitely nothing other clubs can do about it. As what this with the language that this young football player understands is scoring goals. Let us know what you think in the comment section, as we are more than happy to let you know that things are going on quite well for the club Arsenal. Things are definitely going on very, very well. Everything is going on as it is expected. Everything is definitely going on as it is expected, and we think it's going to be massive. It's going to be a good thing. As I can go in the comment section. I can see Raphael Siena saying Arsenal should sleep on MUDRYK. Do this lately is saying Arsenal come get me. They should make a fast move now. Arsenal have already made the move, my friend. So let me see in the comment section. Somebody says this area. Somebody is asking whether this is true. Somebody saying no fish here. Then somebody else saying Arsenal news. Thank you. Okay. And the latest news for my best team, Arsenal. Yeah, I think I've given you the latest news for Arsenal. Somebody asking which number will he play. He will most likely going to play. Anyway, nothing has been concluded as yet. We do not want to speculate. Let's wait and see what will come. And we are best in the United Kingdom, and right here, we definitely are more than happy to let you know that things are going on quite well for the club Arsenal, as things have been going on quite well, very well for the club. Arsenal, a few signings will be made in the January transfer window, and this January transfer window, I think, is going to be a great deal for the club. Arsenal, as Mikhail Mudryk transfer is definitely done and dusted at Arsenal. I'm more than interested in this gentleman. Everything is set, done. It's a deal done, sealed, and confirmed. Everybody has been talking about Mikhail Mudryk and him joining Arsenal. I think there is no more talking about Mikhail Mudryk because it's a done deal. It's definitely a deal that is done, confirmed, and dusted. There is no reason whatsoever as to why. There's no reason whatsoever as to why this gentleman should not be part of the club. Okay, still in the comment section. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for being part of this. And I will go to tell that whatever you're doing is definitely the best. Thank you for being part of this. As we tell you, the Shakhtar Domestic Football Club is more than willing. Actually, has said Arsenal. They wish this gentleman the best because if he goes to Arsenal, that is the club that he will get his first team football that he always wants, and Arsenal, is always willing to give this young gentleman gameplay, and they can prove what they have gotten. For some reason, they have always proved. Edin Nketiah isn't enough there, but he is a very brilliant football player, and that's why another football player is being brought in. I mean, Edin Nketiah, when you look at how he played last time against West Ham, was okay. He managed to score one goal, but in the first half there was nothing much that was done, and he almost finished. The first half with no impact. But second half he played a little bit better, managed to score one goal. But that's the reason as to why the other football players also need to be part. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you think in the comment section so that you definitely do not miss out on anything that we've got to bring to you, as long as it is as though related. We definitely always are the first people to make it happen, and we make sure that we make sure that whatever happens, we bring it to you straight, live, loud, and clear. It's done for Shakhtar Domestic Football player. Shakhtar Domestic Football player is definitely a done deal, done and dusted deal. There is no reason whatsoever as to why anybody should be thinking that this is not yet done. It's definitely done. Definitely done. So, as people have been asking me about other transfers, let me see other transfers. Who can I talk about in other transfers? You already know that Cedric Soares is set to leave Arsenal. We're saying goodbye to Cedric Soares. And then with Mikhail Mudryk being talked about, we've already talked about Mikhail Mudryk. I will remember that Ibrahima Bamba is also another target, is another Arsenal target. So Arsenal could be facing a battle to sign the Italian footballer, and he currently plays for Portugal for Victoria Gomes, and with the Paris Saint-Germain club, Bruges, and Atalanta also interested in the 20-year football player. So that is Ibrahima Bamba. Then looking at Joao Felix, Manchester United and Arsenal are battling. Plus, not only Manchester United and Arsenal, but also Chelsea have been battling the Atletico Madrid football player who will allow Joao Felix to leave. Atletico Madrid will allow Joao Felix to leave on loan in January, as long as his half season that's at the FFP costs around 8 million in paid as a fee. I think that will also be a brilliant move, but chances of him being going to Arsenal are very limited. very limited. And then the other one that has been talked about, I'm trying to tell you everybody that is linked to Arsenal, yeah, Adrian Rabiot. I like Rabiot for some reason. I think he's got years of experience, and Arsenal reportedly too keen on signing the Juventus midfielder Rabiot in the summer after his potential move to Manchester United last summer fell out. So Manchester United tried their level best to sign Adrian Rabiot, but they definitely failed. They didn't get this gentleman. And another one that we can talk about is Alexis McAllister. And we'll remember that Arsenal and Atletico Madrid are targeting Brighton's World Cup winning midfielder McAllister, as it was by December 21st. Arsenal and Spurs are both showing interest in McAllister, but appears to be prioritizing positions other than the midfield, which could leave Atletico Madrid pole position to make their move. Anyway, another football player who's been also targeted, another football player who's been another football target is none other than Ferran Torres. So another football player is Ferran Torres. You'll remember that Arsenal has said to rekindle their interest in Barcelona forward Torres after missing on in the on a bid to sign him over the summer transfer window. Arsenal had tried to make sure they can get this gentleman, but they definitely did not. So those are the football players that are being linked to Arsenal. And when we also need to look at what are the latest contract talks. With Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal are close to agreeing a new contract with the Brazil winger that will result into Martinelli becoming one of the club's top earning footballers in the world. Then also Reece Nelson, the 23-year-old winger, is hoping to sign a new deal to extend his stay at Arsenal, and that will be quite great of him. Then there was a rumor about Bukayo Saka leaving Arsenal. I don't think Bukayo Saka is going anywhere. It was linked to Manchester City. Manchester City came and said, we need Bukayo Saka, but I don't think Bukayo Saka is definitely going anywhere. There is no reason whatsoever anybody should be worried about Bukayo Saka leaving the club. He's going nowhere. He's not going anywhere. I'm telling you, I think there is definitely nowhere. Bukayo Saka is going nowhere. No chance. He's a very nice football player. He's a very great football player. So the combination of Mikhail Mudryk, Edin Nketiah can come in, and Mikhail Mudryk can come in. A combination of Mikhail Mudryk, Edin Nketiah, Smith Rowe, all these are young football players, young talents. Also, I think Arsenal should also look at getting an older player, a player with quite years of experience, to get these young players, because the entire squad is just of young football players, and that could be something bad at some point in time. Though they have proved that they are definitely the best in the world, best in the Premier League. Premier League can be competitive, but when a football club comes out and definitely puts on quite when the football club comes and puts on quite big, when the football club comes and puts on quite big resistance against other clubs, that is always a big impact, a big show that it always shows that the club is more than ready to go for the title. So with Arsenal being in the first position with 40 points and the current threat, which is Manchester City that has 32 points in 14 games played, definitely Arsenal still has a bit of advantage over Manchester City. Newcastle United, Eddie Howe has been playing quite well ever since Newcastle was bought by the Saudi Investment Public Fund. a Saudi Public Investment Fund. It's been playing quite well. They've managed to inject in quite a big now, quite a lot of money, and they've bought good players, and the manager has. Sometimes people say that when you have good players, you definitely will win. And that's not the case. We've seen where a football manager leaves his squad and he leaves the club, and the next manager comes and doesn't get anything about it with that club. An example is Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson. After Sir Alex Ferguson leaving, there is nothing that was definitely achieved. Anyway, that's not the case here. Wow brings us right. He's talking about the one and only Mikhail MUDRYK, who's one of the best football players in the world. As it stands right now, he's one of the best football players that you can definitely get. Let us know in the comment section what you think, as we are definitely winding up this January transfer window, and we are general transfer window show talking about what is coming in this general transfer and who will Arsenal get. And we've also been talking about the Shakhtar Donetsk football player, and that is none other than the Ukraine international. Guess who? MYKHAILO MUDRYK, a friend to Alexandra Zinchenko, whom they share the same nation and play a World Cup together. But our World Cup already did go on quite well for them. Otherwise, thank you for being part of the podcast. Make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss it on anything that we definitely have to bring to you. As we tell you, thank you and goodbye for now.